And as to answering my own question as to what I would do if I were Trudeau, if I like just was determined to not resign and to like try and save this ship before it sinks, until and if I had until October of 2025, what would I do? Right. So there's ahead of us are two roads. So road number one is what Tristan was saying, like if I was Trudeau and I actually wanted to like pump up my election chances, road one was what Tristan was saying, that I could do all these like immigration reforms and economic reforms and all these reforms to try and like save the ship, and like actually solve the problems long term. So that's road number one, and I think I agree with Tristan that it doesn't seem like Trudeau wants to go down road number one, right? But what I'm afraid of is that there's also role number two, which I think that we're failing to consider, which is to go like super hard on like everything that he's doing right now, uh, but like amp it up like 10x, right? So this is the way that I'm thinking about things. So the reason why Canadians are mad at Trudeau right now is because he's done all these like economically like super economically left policies that involve amping up government spending, uh, amping up like social programs, and like just going more and more toward down the path of socialism, right? I'm not gonna say it's like communism, but it's like that's in that direction generally. So if I was Trudeau, then why do I just like why would I stop, right? Like if I go towards the right economically, then I would be agreeing with what Pierre has been criticizing me on, which is a no-go, right? That's a guaranteed loss because people are like, I already hate you, and now you're agreeing with Pierre. Like, why do I just not vote for Pierre, right? Like, I'm just gonna vote for like the guy that I already like instead of like the guy who's like trying to pivot and pander. So going right is like not an option, right? Staying in the middle, staying where he is now on all these economic policies, that's not an option either. Because like that's why people are mad, because like whatever you're doing right now, it's not working. So the only option left is to go left, right? So you cooperate with the NDP, give the NDP whatever they want, right? So Jack Mee was saying he wants price controls on groceries, give them that, right? Sign a piece of paper, pass a bill saying that if you're a Loblaws, you can't charge like over $3 for a loaf of bread, or else we're gonna fine you, right? And just or whatever, give a list of items that you can't charge more than X dollars on, right? Pass that legislation, right? So they're trying to say that they're doing all these great things for Canadians by introducing $10 a day childcare. Why $10 a day? Just make it free, right? Why do this like dental program that's only available for seniors and children under like 14 years old? Just make it free for everyone, right? Let's throw eye care in there, and like we need more like immigrants to fill like all these like jobs that usually are occupied by immigrants, right? So, and we don't want to be seen as a xenophobic nation, so we already let in a million people. Let me let in a million more, right? Or maybe even 2 million. So why not do that, right? So housing price, right? So we're gonna give everybody their first down payment, give everybody $50,000 if you're a first time home buyer, right? Like do like all these massive mortgage reforms, right? And the rich people, they're the problem, right? So we're gonna like introduce a wealth tax. The Americans are talking about introducing an unrealized gains tax. So that sounds like a great idea that will, of course, punish the rich people for being rich. So why not do that as well, right? So you see where I'm going with this? Like all these like super leftist policies have become much more likely, and that's what I'm afraid that Trudeau is going to do to like try and win people over. It's like, first of all, blame all the economic problems on the rich, and then just start handing out like social programs and handing out money like crazy, right? Like a big thing, introduce a UBI, right? So everyone over the age of 18 years old in Canada, you get $2,000 a month, no questions asked, right? And that's only going to happen. And let's say he does that, like he starts the program 2 months before the election, right? So you get 2 months of a free trial, so you get like $4,000, and then the election happens, and then obviously the conservatives are not going to let that program stay, right? If they get in charge. So it's like you either vote for me or this UBI goes away. And then inflation has a lag, right? So it's not going to catch up that fast. So 2 months before the election, I'm going to just go all out, make childcare free, make eye care free, make dentistry free, and give everybody $2,000 a month. Increase taxes on the billionaires, start, doing all this like unrealized gains tax, wealth tax, throw all the tax on carbon tax. People seem to like that, right? We double that. So it's just all these like programs, like all the taxes we just jack up, and then all the social programs we jack up as well. Like just go all out, try everything. And that's route number two. So, final question of tonight, and then we gotta wrap it up. What do you guys think of that potential second route? Are you afraid that that's going to happen, or maybe your opinion is that that's where we should go, right? Like, if we're going all out, then like, what's the problem with going all out? Why should we go? Why should we not go all out? So, a welcome debate on this if you guys want to impart your opinion.
Personally, hell nah. I hope that doesn't happen. Like I get that like 2K going in like right away is quite nice. And then I haven't had an eye exam in a really long time because I'm a contract employee. That would be really nice too. But point being is I feel like that's on the vibe of printing money and we don't want to do that in order to have a sustainable economy. Because if we just like give money away, then um future problems occur and with that like the economy gets a lot worse in the long run and you really don't want to do that. You want to be able to properly negate that as much as possible. So I hope he doesn't do that, but if he wants to save his big boy job up there, and maybe he might, and that is something to fear about for sure. But I think all in all, I'd hope that that does not happen. Although it sounds very tempting short term, there's always like long term actions for short term actions, so to speak. So I think we should just be careful of like um, what we wish for, basically. And yeah, again, I hope that doesn't happen.
Let me just butt in before Tristan goes, right? So I can already hear that we're gonna get a lot of commentators being like, "Oh, that's not gonna happen. You're just like an alt-right fear monger," right? And what I'm saying is that, like, no, this is a real possibility, in my opinion, right? Maybe you disagree with that, but I think that it is like it is a real possibility. So like for those of you who study history, you would know that there was a famous French king at some point called King Louis the 14th, right? His nickname is the Sun King, or was the Sun King. He's long passed now. But when he was alive, he was an absolute ruler who spent extravagantly, who people said that he led the country when it was in like a golden age and stuff like that. But his extravagant spending and all of this, lifestyle certainly contributed to the decline of the French Empire and eventually the French Revolution, right? I think it was his grandson, Louis the 16th, that got the axe during the French Revolution, right? So this was Louis 16th's grandfather, Louis 14th. And he has this famous quote, which is "Après moi, deluge," which is "After me, the flood." Right. So what he meant by this is, I don't give a shit what happens after I die. Like there could be a flood that wipes out the entire Earth after I die. Like why do I care, right? Like in modern times, in a country like Canada, like you might not die, but like let's say your career dies, right? Like your career in politics dies as prime minister, right? So what if Trudeau goes on this mentality of après moi deluge, where it's like, if I'm not prime minister, then I don't give a shit like what happens afterwards, right? Like I need to go all out so that I can lead the country. And if I'm not like the leader, then nothing else matters. After me, the flood, right? So if it's after me the flood, if he actually thinks like that, then he could choose route number two, like I said, and go all out, right? So what do you think, Tristan? I'm sure you're dying to speak on this topic.
What you're saying, that he could choose to go that route. I do think it's unlikely he goes that route, because I think that there would be quite the heyday on him if, in terms of media and coverage and everything, where people are basically going, "He's lost his goddamn mind," if he tried to pull that. And so on that front, I don't think it's super likely that it'll happen. I wouldn't say it's necessarily not a possibility, but even then, I think the strategy for most people would be, well, not the strategy, but the strategy that most people could employ would be to take the money and run. He's going to give you free UBI. You take the money while it's still worth something, and you get the heck out of Dodge. And I feel like that's probably what a lot of people would choose to do. But again, not everyone has that option to get out of the country and move to somewhere else very quickly. And in fact, a lot of people won't. So I'm sure some people would just have to deal with it. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's likely that he'll actually be capable of doing that at all.
Okay, fair. I'm not saying that it was likely, by the way. I'm just proposing that that could be a possibility, even if it's like, I don't know, a 1% chance, right? Let me just assign it a probability. I agree with you there. I think that is very unlikely. So it's probably like in the realm of like, less than 5% chance of that actually happening. And I would agree with that. But it's maybe I'm just being paranoid, but it is like a dark future that could be ahead of us. And as I said, like, I'm good at predicting things, right? And the reason I think why I'm good at predicting things is because I see a lot of like potential things that could happen before they actually happen, and then I'm able to assign like proper assessment of how probable they will happen, right? So this is just one pathway that I can see that I am concerned about. So I just wanted to bring it up just in case, like, that actually happens, and then I could be like, hey, the country was destroyed, but you can go on YouTube and watch this video and marvel at Andy's prediction capabilities.